This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Roxas. On the Scorecard tonight, Tenorio says Magnolia's locals were the key to the Hotshots' first win of the conference. Quentin Millora-Brown signs with Nagoya Diamond Dolphins for the new B.League Premier season. Eala eyes another piece of tennis history for the Philippines at the U.S. Open. Miguel Tabuena opens LIV Golf United Kingdom campaign with a 1/73. Saul Canelo Alvarez sets Halloween title fight against Christian Mbilli in Riyadh. All the headlines and more on the Scorecard tonight, the 24th of July. Now, here's our roundup brought to you by the Philippine Sports Commission, the Philippine Olympic Committee, and the NSTIAC. After starting the conference with back-to-back losses, Magnolia finally put together a complete team performance to defeat Meralco and pick up its first win of the season. While import KJ Buffen led the way with 26 points, head coach Tenorio said the biggest difference was the contribution of the Hotshots' local players, who provided the support needed to keep the offense balanced. Tenorio said modern PBA defenses are too prepared to allow a team to depend on its import alone, which is why he continues to emphasize team basketball.
The support of the locals, napakalaking bagay sa import na yun, no? Napakalaking bagay sa import. So that the import don't have to score 50 points or 60 points just to win the game, no? Because of syempre magagaling din mag-scout na yung mga teams ngayon, eh. Diba? So we really have to work together to help our import, no? Especially the locals. Challenge ko talaga yung mga locals, especially my vets, no? Na talagang they need our import needs our support. We cannot rely on our import alone.
Tenorio even pointed to his years playing with Justin Brownlee, saying Ginebra's championship team succeeded because their local core consistently stepped up around their import. In the win over Meralco, that formula was evident as Xavier Lucero, Ian Sangalang, Andy Mark Baroca, and Jerome Lastimosa all finished in double figures to give Magnolia one of its most balanced offensive performances this season. Despite the much-needed victory, Tenorio said the Hotshots are far from a finished product.
Sana, diba? This is the start of a good run for us. But again, we still have a lot of things to tackle, especially on our defense. We want to be a defensive team first.
The first-year head coach also said the win was crucial, especially with Magnolia coming off a tough stretch against Rainier Shine and Ginebra. He added that the players deserve credit for buying into the game plan, spending the entire week practicing hard, studying film, and executing what the coaching staff prepared. With their first victory finally in the books, Magnolia hopes the team effort against Meralco becomes the foundation for a turnaround as the Hotshots look to climb back into the Governor's Cup playoff race. Meantime, in the second game, Barangay Ginebra bounced back from its opening day loss with a dominant 115-85 victory over Blackwater to secure its first win of the PBA Governor's Cup. The Gin Kings took control early and never looked back, leading by as many as 35 points during the round. Gilas Filipinas center Quentin Millora-Brown will remain in Japan after signing with the Nagoya Diamond Dolphins for the upcoming B.League season. The 6'10" big man moves to Nagoya after a limited campaign with the Chiba Jets, where he averaged 3.8 points and 2.9 rebounds in 19 games before a sciatica injury cut his season short. QMB said he is excited to help the Diamond Dolphins compete in the newly launched B.League Premier. Nagoya finished with a 41-19 record last season before falling to the Ryukyu Golden Kings in the semifinals. A now healthy Millora-Brown will look to earn a bigger role as he continues his professional career while strengthening his case as one of Gilas Filipinas' key big men. The B.League is thinking big. After establishing itself as one of Asia's top professional basketball leagues, Japan's Top Flight is now aiming to become the world's #2 league, behind only the NBA. Here's our sports correspondent Zeus Valdez with the exclusive report.
Other than that, those are the quite famous players.
The B.League has set its sight on becoming the world's second-best professional basketball league behind the NBA, with Executive Officer Nao Okamoto saying the league's long-term growth will be driven by stronger clubs, international expansion, and developing more NBA-caliber players.
So we have a clear purpose to become a #2 in the world after NBA. In terms of business and also in terms of athletic track record, we want to be a #2 in the world.
Okamoto said the league's partnership with the NBA, participation in international competition, and in the upcoming B.League Manila Games are all part of a long-term strategy to elevate the level of basketball while giving more players the opportunity to reach the sport's biggest stage.
Not just the playing in the domestic league, go out from your country to have a game with the different the style club, different club with different style. That make your team stronger. So that leads to the bottoms up the whole level of Asia.
The B.League will hold its first ever overseas home game through the B.League Manila Games 2026 this September, marking another step in its bid to expand its global footprint while bringing Japanese professional basketball closer to Filipino fans. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Justin Brownlee and Scotty Thompson may be out, but don't expect Barangay Ginebra to be any less dangerous. That's the warning from Rain or Shine head coach Yeng Giao, who believes the defending champions could be even more unpredictable as they continue to adjust their rotation. Here's another exclusive from Zeus Valdez.
Rain or Shine isn't taking Barangay Ginebra lightly. Despite the absence of superstars Justin Brownlee and Scotty Thompson, Elasto Painters head coach Yeng Giao said the Chin Kings remain one of the most dangerous teams in the PBA because of Team Cone's ability to maximize its roster.
Magaling naman mag-adjust si Coach Tim. Yung bench niya, ginagamit niya, medyo nag-experiment siya ngayon sa mga nasa dulo ng rotation niya. So sa akin, delikadong experiment yun. Baka gumaling yung ibang players na mabigyan ng pagkakataon.
Yao said the Elasto Painters are now preparing for a different offensive look with new Ginebra import Riley Grigsby, who scored 42 points in his PBA debut. He also expects Ginebra to look sharper after having another game to further integrate their new import into the system.
May isang laro pa sila bago kami. Noong Friday may laro sila. Hindi ko lang sigurado kung sino. Pero that's enough time for them to make the adjustment kasi galing silang finals, galing sila ng championship. Medyo wala pa sa wala pa sa wisyo yung mga yun. Pero by the time they play us, andyan na yung rhythm nila.
Giao added that while Kaylan Kyongson has proven he can defend elite imports slowing down, Grigsby will present a different challenge.
Nakita ko rin yung Grigsby doon sa first game niya, magaling din eh. Tsaka may katawan din. So, 40 plus points siya, taas siya rin. 42 points. So, para maglaro siya ng first game niya na hindi pa niya masyadong kabisado yung laro sa PBA, tapos mga 42 points ka, ibig sabihin may booty talaga yan, may galing talaga yung import na yun.
Rain or Shine will face Barangay Ginebra on Sunday at the Smart Araneta Coliseum, where the Elasto Painters aim to build on their momentum against the Chin Kings squad, expected to be even more dangerous despite missing two of its biggest stars. Reporting for the Scorecard, Zeus Valdez, Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Alex Eala has already rewritten Philippine tennis history, but an even bigger milestone could be within reach when she returns to the US Open next month. The 21-year-old Filipina is coming off a historic Wimbledon campaign where she became the first Filipino to reach the fourth round of the tournament. Now, Eala has a chance to surpass another national record by becoming the first Filipino to reach the U.S. Open quarterfinals. The mark is currently shared by legend Felicissimo Ampon, who reached the round of 16 four times between 1948 and 1952. Eala has already shown she can compete with the world's best after defeating Iga Swiatek at Wimbledon and reaching the Miami Open semifinals on hard courts. If she continues that form and earns a favorable draw in New York, the Filipina star could once again make history and further elevate Philippine tennis on the Grand Slam stage. Miguel Tabuena recovered from a shaky start but still finished with a 1 over par 73 to open the LIV Golf United Kingdom tournament in a share of 38th place at the JCB Golf and Country Club in England. The Filipino golfer struggled through the early stages of his round, falling to 4 over after a series of bogeys. But Tabuena fought back with 3 birdies over his final 7 holes to limit the damage and keep him within striking distance heading into the second round. Australia's Lucas Herbert set the early pace with an 11 under 61 to take a 3-shot lead over Bryson DeChambeau. With 3 rounds still to play, Tabuena will look to build on his strong finish as he tries to climb the leaderboard in the 4-day tournament. Saul Canelo Alvarez is officially set to return to the ring on October 31 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where he will try to reclaim a super middleweight world title against new champion Christian Mbilli. The Mexican superstar said family matters forced him to postpone his original September return, which opened the door for the Ryan Garcia-Conor Benn welterweight title fight to headline that date. Alvarez also admitted he was disappointed with his recent loss to Terence Crawford, saying his mind wasn't there during the bout. Despite preferring to fight in Mexico or the United States, Alvarez said he accepts the move to Saudi Arabia and plans to stay active with at least 3 more fights. He also left the door open for a rematch with the now-retired Crawford, should the 5-division world champion decide to return to the sport. Former NBA center Boban Marjanovic is headed to the Philippines after signing a short-term deal with strong group Filipinas for the 45th William Jones Cup, scheduled from August 8 to 16 in Taipei, Taiwan. The 7'4" Serbian veteran played 331 NBA games over a 10-year career with 6 different teams. He is expected to provide size, experience, and veteran leadership as Strong Group defends its William Jones Cup title. Up next, the Filipinas are setting their sights on more than just another World Cup appearance. After qualifying for Brazil 2027, the next challenge is proving they can compete with the world's elite. We'll be joined by veteran football analyst Mariel Benitez Javellana and ask her what will it take to reach the knockout stage and is the team on the right path to get there? All that and more when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. The Filipinas have their eyes set on another milestone after qualifying for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. But how realistic is their goal of reaching the knockout stage? And what will it take to get there? Joining us now is veteran football analyst Mariel Benitez Javellana. Hi Mariel, and it's an honor to have you on The Scorecard for the very first time. Finally!
Yes, good evening, Anton. It's nice to be here and to be joining you once again.
So, Mariel, let's get to it. The Filipinas were drawn with China, Uzbekistan, and Hong Kong. Overall, how favorable is this group, and what do you think are their realistic chances of advancing to the knockout stage?
Well, I'm very confident of the Filipinas. They've been performing very well. Of course, China will be quite difficult. They're ranked number 16 But we've beaten Uzbekistan. We drew them in the friendly last year, but they were the reason why we qualified for the Women's World Cup. So I'm quite confident that we'll also have a good performance against them. And of course, against Hong Kong, we can't be too overconfident, but I think in this group, we'll definitely make it to the next round.
Well, that's good to hear coming from you. I'll just say that off the bat. Now, looking at history, you mentioned it, the Philippines has beaten Uzbekistan and also Hong Kong in recent years. How much confidence should those previous victories give the squad, and what challenges could be different this time around, Mariel?
Well, you know, Anton, I think the Filipinas, they've kind of switched that kind of mentality. We're no longer underdogs when you come into tournaments. We're very confident with you know, the possession, with our quality. So, you know, coming into the game, I don't think we look at ourselves as a team that just participates, but more of a team that can actually win and be at par with the best, at least in the ASEAN and in Asia.
Going back to China, you mentioned them as the most formidable foe that the Filipinas will face in the group. So obviously, they're the clear favorite there. But from a tactical standpoint, what will the Filipinas need to do to stay competitive if they hope to pull off, hopefully, an upset or at least earn a favorable result?
I mean, we saw in the recent Men's World Cup how these underdog teams were able to hold powerhouses. So I think just the same with the Philippines, every time we play against a squad that is tactically more advanced than us, we always stay very resilient on defense. So having that low block and then banking on our quick attacks or quick counter attacks. And I think that will be an opportunity for us against China, who are physically taller, very strong in their aerial possession. No? So I think if we hold them for defense, tire them out, and then bank on our quality strikers and our wing players, we'd be able to convert or maybe even have an upset.
Hoping for that. Now, the Filipinas have already qualified for the 2027 FIFA World Cup. How important is the Asian Games in terms of their overall development, and what should be the team's primary objective in that tournament?
I mean, I think we have less than a year to prepare for the Brazil Women's World Cup in 2027. So I would like to think that the Philippines will take this opportunity, you know, to win, to get those confidence, to get those combinations, and slowly build momentum into our preparation for the Women's World Cup. So it's good that we have quality competitions and opportunities for us to gather the girls and get the kind of exposure that we want in preparation for the World Cup.
Ito, Mariel, I want to ask your opinion about this because Coach Mark Torcaso has publicly set the goal of reaching the knockout stage of the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. So that's lofty expectations. In your view, how significant is it for a coach to make that kind of statement this early? And what does this say about the Filipinas' growth as a program?
I mean, I think, Anton, that's very crucial for a coach to have a belief in the Philippines, to have a belief in his preparation, the plans moving forward. I know it's not easy. It's never easy to gather the girls, especially most of the Filipinas play in you know, different competitions all over the world. So to have that belief and just trying to build that confidence in his own preparations, I think that's very important for the team and even for us fans to have that in mind and to really look forward to the quality that the girls will be bringing by next year.
Mariel, I'm sure you're very happy that the Filipinas now have climbed back into the FIFA Top 40 and they continue to develop younger players alongside their experienced core. So how important is squad depth in sustaining success over the next 2 years leading up to the World Cup?
Well, yeah, I think one thing that's good with the program now for our national team is how Coach Mark or the Philippine Football Federation has attached the youth national team program. So our U17, U20 squads somehow play with the same philosophy that Coach Mark Torcaso would give the senior squad. So, in the next few years that we're developing the senior team or preparing the senior team, we're also developing the youth national team or the youth players parallel to the kind of philosophy or the kind of quality that we want for the senior team. So we've seen it in previous matches. He's been able to put in some of our U17 girls to play up for the senior team. And I think that's important that they get that kind of exposure. They get to play in the big tournaments so that when their time is right or they're ripe for the senior squad, they already have those caps with them.
Staying with Coach Mark, he emphasized that maximizing every FIFA international window and exposing the team to different styles of play. From a football perspective, how critical is that kind of preparation if the Filipinas want to take the next step and compete with the world's elite in Brazil?
Well, I really think that's very important, Anton. Just to be able to bring the girls together. I know that has always been a struggle because not everyone is available on FIFA windows. Some have injuries and just trying to get better. So I think for Coach Mark, it's important that he gets together the best available or the best girls or the best Filipinas for the Women's World Cup. And it's the months leading from today onwards to June where he'll be able to see them, get them together and really find the best combination to let us win outside of the group stage. So get us to that knockout stage. So I think if he gets his way, the preparations fall into place, we'd be very, very lucky to have the best group of girls by June, July next year.
Well, we will be hoping that Coach Mark will be able to do that, gather all the girls and have a great preparation towards the 2027 World Cup in Brazil. Mariel, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you joining us here on the show.
Thanks, Anton. Anytime.
Mariel Benitez Javellana with us here on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Coming up next, two unbeaten teams, one statement game. Junmar Fajardo and the San Miguel Beermen face the 3-0 NLEX Road Warriors led by first-year head coach Jimmy Alapag. Can NLEX pass its biggest test yet? Or will San Miguel's winning tradition prevail? We will break down that matchup when we return right here on The Scorecard. Welcome back to The Scorecard. It's time to keep your eyes on the prize. Two of the hottest teams in the PBA put their perfect records on the line. This Sunday, the unbeaten San Miguel Beermen collide with the surprising NLEX Road Warriors in a showdown that will leave only one team undefeated in Group A. Let's talk about this. Both squads enter with identical 3-0 win-loss cards, but they took different paths to get here. NLEX has overwhelmed its opponents, winning 2 of its 3 games by an average of 37 points before surviving a 1-point scare against Terra Firma. San Miguel, meanwhile, has already passed 2 early tests against Terra Firma and Converge, showing the poise of a championship team when the game gets tight. Now, the Road Warriors face their biggest exam of the conference against the league's gold standard. And at the center of that challenge is one man. Sino pa ba? Junmar Fajardo. The 8-time MVP remains the biggest force in Philippine basketball. And even NLEX head coach Jimmy Alapag knows what his team is up against. Alapag called Fajardo a player who has dominated this league for years, adding that this matchup will test not just his big men, but the entire NLEX defense. He also pointed to San Miguel's winning culture, saying the Beermen have built their legacy around the dominance of their franchise center. If the Road Warriors want to stay perfect, they must first find a way to slow down the most decorated big man of his generation. But this NLEX team isn't just winning because of talent. It's also the early impact of new head coach Jimmy Alapag. After nearly 6 years in the NBA, including stops with the Sacramento Kings, Alapag has returned to the PBA determined to build more than just a playbook. He's bringing the leadership style he learned from Mike Brown along with the professionalism he observed from NBA stars like Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox. For Alapag, the goal is to create a culture that can match the league's best. Now, ironically, his biggest test comes against the very organization where he once served as an assistant coach and helped win championships. On Sunday, we find out if the Road Warriors are ready to take the next step or if the Beermen will once again remind the league why they remain the team to beat. And with that, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you again next weekend on The Scorecard. Next week, rather, where sports is our business and business is our sport on the Bilyonaryo News Channel. This is Anton Roxas. Have a blessed evening, everybody, and happy weekend.